So welcome to your practice. In our time together, we will explore the themes of maturity and self-love, really focusing on the quality of self-love and how that is an expression of maturity. And we'll use jasmine essential oil. So if you have your jasmine essential oil, you can take it now and you can just place a little bit onto the center of the wrist, this point here, right at the center. I've got mine in a roller and I'm just rolling there, and I'm going to connect the point to exactly the same point on the opposite wrist, and I'm just going to breathe in 2 or 3 long, slow breaths of that really gorgeous, nurturing floral. Jasmine is an oil that invokes trust, kind of wraps us up in a bubble of bliss, and can really be a great ally in this invoking of self-love. And after you've enjoyed that, you could take a little bit and just rub underneath your nose so that you'll continue to get the aroma as we practice. And then we'll start in child's pose. Right. On your mat, you can also just know that we'll use a blanket in our practice today. So if you make sure that you have a blanket or a towel to support you in your practice, we'll use that right at the end. So coming into child's pose, you can take your knees wide and your toes are touching together and just sitting onto your heels and walking your hands forwards and coming to rest. Allowing the heart to drop and sink. And just knowing that as you rest here for a few more breaths, that self-love is creating a space in your life, both to heal the body and the mind. And in this practice, we will fill ourselves up with some expansive movement and with some kind self-talk. We will practice loving ourselves. Good. Come up to all fours and take your knees and your feet once more into parallel. Inhale to drop the belly, lift the face, and then exhale, arch the back. Awakening the spine, inhale to drop the belly, lifting the face and the tailbone, drawing shoulders back. And exhale, suck everything up into the opposite direction. Good, and then once more. Good, and then lift the hips and come into downward facing dog. And take a few pauses in down dog as you breathe deeply here. The knees can be just very slightly bent and the hips can be nicely lifted and reaching towards the back of the room. And then you can walk the dog here, so dropping the right heel to the floor, bending the left knee. And taking the other side, dropping the left heel and bending the right knee. And then coming back to your dog. Gaze to your hands and bring your right foot in between your hands. And then drop the back knee. And just lift the face for a moment here. And then walk the hands over to the inside of the right foot, taking the hands nice and wide, bend at the elbows and descend the heart down to the ground. And inhale to come up. Downward facing dog. Gaze to hands, left foot in between hands. Come down onto the back knee. Inhale, lift the face. And then exhale, left hand inside the left foot. Right hand comes nice and wide, bending the elbows and descending the heart down. Inhale, coming all the way up. Downward facing dog. One breath here, please. And an exhale, navel to spine. And then walk the feet towards the hands, hands towards the feet. Inhale, lift and lengthen from the pubic bone to the belly button to the heart. You can take hands onto shins if the floor feels too far away. And then exhale, folding in. And rest here in this forward fold. And you can measure 2 fists between your arches of your feet to create a good hip distance with your feet. And just take your hands either onto the floor in front of you, the floor beside you, or holding onto the heels behind you, whichever feels most supportive as you let the head completely go. And here you can really bend the knees so that the chest rests fully on the thighs. And here, as you turn inward, say something nice to yourself. Something that you like or you admire about yourself. It can be something very simple. Or something very profound. It doesn't matter what it is. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale and fold once more. Inhale, rise up, sweep the arms all the way around you to come to prayer and draw the hands back into the heart. Inhale, take hands up and overhead, and exhale and fold down. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale, fold in. Inhaling, rising up. Travel prayer down the midline. Inhale, hands come up and overhead. And exhale, folding forward, moving through some meditative half sun salutations as you inhale and lift the heart. As you exhale and fold into yourself. As you inhale to rise tall, gaze to thumbs overhead. As you exhale, draw the prayer back into the heart. Inhale, hands up and overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lifting and lengthening. Exhale and fold. Inhale and rise. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, hands come up and overhead. Exhale, squeeze the belly as you fold forwards. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Plant the hands and walk back to downward facing dog. Good. Lift the right leg all the way up, back and behind you. And then draw the knee into the face as if you were going to give it a little kiss. And then take the right leg all the way back and up. And then bring the right knee back and in again, taking the left foot in between the hands, dropping the back knee down. Climb up onto the right thigh. And then bring the arms all the way up and overhead, but open them out so they are more like a V shape in a very receptive pose. Almost as if you were receiving love from something much greater and bigger than yourself, all the way down, directing it down through your arms and into the center of your heart. And then replace both hands onto the floor, framing the right foot, tuck the back toes, and downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up. Draw the left knee in, little kiss. Left leg goes all the way up. And left foot comes through. Climb up onto the left thigh, sweep the arms up and open them out in that receptive invitation. Really lifting the chest and a sense of lifting and opening the heart as you press into the ball of the front foot. And frame the front foot and come into downward facing dog. Come onto your knees. Take a moment in child's pose. Breathing in. And breathing out. Inhale back up to fours. Swing your legs around now. And take the soles of the feet onto the floor and take your hands right behind you with the fingers pointing forwards. Feet are parallel, about hip distance apart, and then lift the chest, draw shoulders back and just gaze upwards. And come back to center. Lift the right leg, lift the left leg. Bring your hands, right arm forwards, left arm forwards, palms together. Inhaling. Exhaling, taking the hands to the right. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, taking the hands to the left. Inhaling back to center, helps if you smile. Exhaling, hands to the right. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, hands to the left. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling to the right. Give yourself a great big hug after that. Coming back, hands behind you, fingers pointing forwards. Inhale, lift the chest. We'll do that another round. Lift right leg, lift left leg. Hands in the center, inhaling. Take hands to the right. Inhale to center. Hands to the left, creating resilience and strength here. Hands to the center. Exhaling to the right. Inhaling to center. Exhaling to left, maybe shaking like I am. Inhaling to center. Exhaling to right. Bring the knees in. Squeeze everything in for a very nice, warm, welcome hug. Third time lucky. Hands behind you. Lift the chest. And then bring hands to center. Right leg up. Left leg up. Inhaling. Hands to the right. Inhaling. Exhaling to left. Inhaling. Exhaling to right. Inhale to center. Exhale to left. Inhale to center. Exhale to right. Squeeze everything in. And maybe just drop the chin and celebrate that you did 3 rounds of abs in Navasana, boat pose, celebrating the small things. It's always in the detail where the love lives. Good. Swing the legs all the way back round behind you now and come into a downward facing dog. And bring the right knee to the outside edge of the mat for pigeon pose. Very good. Flexing the right foot helps to protect the right knee and the ligaments around the knee and the ankle. And then let's come down onto our elbows with our palms facing forwards. Your gaze can just be beyond the fingertips here. And as you breathe in slowly, exhaling navel to spine. Treating ourselves as if we are somebody who we are responsible for taking care of. Often we find ourselves very easy to understand that we are responsible for taking care of others, but sometimes it doesn't always become an internal practice for ourselves. Hands onto the floor, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Left knee to the outside edge of the mat for pigeon on the other side. Coming down onto elbows. Good. Take hands back onto the floor. Downward facing dog. And then walk the feet forwards and come back down to seated. And bring the soles of the feet parallel but not quite touching. So a little distance apart, maybe, 3 or 4 inches apart. And there's quite a distance between your hips and your heels. coming into Tarasana, folding at the hips all the way down and making prayer hands, if you can, in front of your feet, and then just dropping the head and seeing if it wants to move towards the feet. It may be that you're higher up here and that's fine, and the fingers are not quite there. That's absolutely fine as well. And we'll just rest here for a few breaths, taking a pause in this pose, which if you look at it from above looks like a star, looks like a 5-pointed star. And it just reminds us that we are all made of this stardust. We are a miracle in human form, complete miracle that we're even here in this moment, able to express this pose in our body. And taking a few more breaths as you allow yourself to soften perhaps even deeper into the shape. And slowly on your next breath in, walking your hands towards you as you come all the way up. Very nice. And coming now into a cradling position of the leg. So really some nice sweet cradling of the self, bringing the right leg up and holding the outside edge of the foot first of all, and just kind of drawing the knee back a little bit behind you. You can have a sense of lifting the chest still here, almost on the front of the sit bones, which can be a challenge in and of itself. And then we're taking the right knee into the right elbow crease and the foot into the left elbow. And if you can't make that just yet, take the elbows underneath the leg here. Otherwise, taking the right foot into the left elbow crease and really projecting through the inner arch of the right foot so that there's no sickling there. And just rocking yourself, cradling yourself while opening the hips. Back and forth a couple more times. The rocking movement is very soothing to our nervous system. Good. Releasing down, taking the other leg. And again, knowing that if this is too deep for you right now, just taking this expression of the same pose and rocking from here. And we all have days and times where that might be too much for us, or it might just be that we're working towards this full expression. Projecting through the inner arch of the left foot so it's really connecting with the elbow as you rock from side to side. Good. Release that down. And then come to right leg in front of left into a Sukhasana, cross-legged position. And then let's take right onto left knee and revolve around into a twist. So you've got your hand just behind you here. Grow very tall first of all, right hand onto left knee, taking a little twist at the waist. Good, come back to center. Go the other way. And back to center. Then extend your legs out. Draw the right leg in so that the heel is right close to the to the seat. So it's really nice and drawn in rather than further away. It's nice and close. And then bring the right arm inside, and you can cross the right arm over the left and find the foot. Or if that's not quite where you are, you can just take the hands by the side of the shins and drop the chin here. And you know, it might be even that you're just really upright and you're here today, and that's fine too. So just taking your variation of the pose. As you fold in, creasing very much at the hips. Take one more breath here. Good, and then inhale, come all the way up. And we'll take the other side. Draw the left knee in. Heel as close to the seat as you can. Take the left shoulder inside the left knee, but keep the left knee drawing in. Don't let it kind of flop open to the side. Keep it hugging in as you take the left hand to the outside edge of the left foot, or just both hands either side of the, the right foot, the right shin. And folding in here. It's lovely. Keep breathing slow, deep breaths here, softening with each exhale. And inhale, gently rising up. And extending both legs out now. And you might like to take your blanket here and sit on your blanket so that you have a bit more of a supportive forward fold. And then bending the legs as always so that the chest rests on the thighs. So it may be that you're deep, it may be that your legs are more fully extended. Doesn't matter which version you are in. Just coming into your own forward fold here. Letting the head completely go. And breathing slow, steady breaths with yourself. And just knowing that each time we spend time with ourselves like this, with intention and in contemplation, we're not only creating space for love for ourselves, but we're creating the opportunity for that love to eventually pour out to those closest to us. And then eventually it kind of has a ripple effect where it pours out not just to those closest to us, but to those on the outer kind of circles of our lives. And even to strangers who maybe we don't really consider ourselves as having any kind of feeling towards. Inhale to come all the way up. And then let's come to lie down on the back. Take the knees bent and lift the hips just slightly over to the right. And then extend the left leg, bring the right knee all the way into the chest. And then taking the outside edge of the right knee, drawing the right knee over for a twist with a little kind of arch in the lower back here. You can then take the arms out to the side. It's quite a deep twist, this one. Allowing as much as possible the right shoulder to move towards the floor. Take one more breath here. And then inhale, bring yourself back up to center. And take both feet onto the floor and lift hips over to the left. Extend the right leg, bring the left knee in and take it over to the right. And create the little arch in your lower back. Oops. Keeping the left shoulder, or moving at least the left shoulder towards the direction of the floor. That's great. And then when you're good and ready, coming all the way up, back to center. And we're going to take a Shavasana in a supportive pose with the blanket in goddess pose. So you're going to take your blanket, and you're going to have it around this kind of width, folded in this way. And you're going to make a skinny roll with it. And then take soles of the feet together, wrap underneath the ankles so that you've got padding all the way underneath the ankles, which, as you'll feel, can fully support the legs and the knees. And then you're going to come to lie all the way down. Soles of the feet are together. And you can take your hands either resting on your belly or by your sides with the palms face up. Just take the most supportive version for you, and just know that there's no wrong answers really. At this point, all the answers are right. And we'll rest here for a minute or so together. And I'm going to read you a little bit from a book by Mark Nepo called The Book of Awakening. As you rest here. The great and fierce mystic William Blake said, "There is no greater act than putting another before you." This speaks to a selfless giving that seems to be at the base of meaningful love. Yet, having struggled for a lifetime with letting the needs of others define me, I've come to understand that without the healthiest form of self-love, without honouring the essence of life that this thing called self carries, the way a pod carries a seed, putting another before you can result in damaging self-sacrifice and endless codependence. I have in many ways over the years suppressed my own needs and insights in an effort not to disappoint others, even when no one asked me to. This is not unique to me. Somehow, in the course of learning to be good, we have all been asked to wrestle with a false dilemma, being kind to ourselves or being kind to others. In truth, though, being kind to ourselves is a prerequisite to being kind to others. Honouring ourselves is, in fact, the only lasting way to release a truly selfless kindness to others. It is, I believe, as Mencius, the grandson of Confucius, says, that just as water unobstructed will flow downhill, we, given the chance to be what we are, will extend ourselves in kindness. So the real and lasting practice for each of us is to remove what obstructs us so that we can be who we are, holding nothing back. If we can work towards this kind of authenticity, then the living kindness, the water of compassion, will naturally flow. We do not need discipline to be kind, just an open heart. So if you have more time, you can stay completely resting in this pose for as long as you wish. 5 to 10 minutes longer is great. If you are wishing to finish the practice with me, you can gently coax the knees back together and bring the knees into the chest, rolling onto your side, resting there for a moment. And then slowly using your hands to push yourself up and bring yourself to a comfortable seated position. And bringing palms to the center of the heart. Taking one long, slow, deep breath in to integrate fully the experience of offering kindness to yourself. And then exhaling, chin to chest, hands to forehead. Namaste. Thank you.